Oh, fantastic.
I'll go ahead and get started. My name is Melissa Cavender, and I'm doing a course in Introduction to Speech at Columbia College, and I'm attending there to achieve my bachelor's in general studies, so I'm really looking forward to that. And I wanted to talk to you today about some of my strengths and weaknesses that I have in public speaking. I have been doing courses as instructional guides for construction and general industry. So I've been doing instructional courses as far as from first aid and trenching safety. So I have some public speaking in my background. But some of my weaknesses that I do have, of course, is nervous movement, moving around the classroom too much, and also speeding up into my speech, so that time management is also one of my weaknesses. A strength that I do have is preparation. I make sure that all the material is put into place, and I also use visual aids and PowerPoint presentations so that I have all that material. So it not only helps me to keep on track, but it also diverts and uses the audience onto the visual aids. So that helps me out quite a bit. That is a good strength that I do have. The other weakness is time management, and of course it's hard to take time management in a course that you have a lot of material to cover, there's a lot of information, and you have to put it into that time constraint. So that is one of the weaknesses that I do have in public speaking. I believe that I can improve a lot of the speech and introduction that I do with more of an audience involvement, having questions being asked during the course and having feedback as well. Having those forms for feedback is really good. That way you know that when you are doing a public speaking or an instructional guide, that the audience is tied in and they're able to provide that conversational feedback that you really need. So I also do a lot of rehearsing in regards to public speaking, so I make sure that all my materials are ready, and I also set up my computer way ahead of time so that I know that all those presentations material is going to be working and functioning properly. So in regards to that, I like to set up at least a half hour early. That way that I can get all of the material ready, and when the audience does come into the classroom, they are ready as well, and they know what material we're going to be covering. So a couple of the other things that I did want to talk about was interruptions during public speaking, because that's always one of those nervous moments that you do get when an audience member decides to be either confrontational or actually they attempt to see if you know your knowledge and that material that you're presenting. So that's one of the areas that I like to tackle first, is always knowing what kind of questions are going to be asked. Is there going to be a confrontation? If there is, I like to take that piece that they're asking me and put it up on the board. That way we can use it as a parking lot, and then after the speech or the public instructional guidance is done, then I can go back to it and ask those questions again. I'd really like to know some of the feedback that you have in regards to doing my introduction and my feedback for today. Does anybody have any questions or feedback they'd like to offer me today?
I like how you made good eye contact as you kind of went around the room, and you maintained like a good cadence of your speaking, and you didn't use your hands a lot, but you did to illustrate, some certain highlights that we needed to hear, and I liked it.
Thank you, Brian. I really appreciate that. Anybody else?
Well, it was very clear and concise when you were talking. You weren't doing the ums and the haws and the things that you do when you do get nervous sometimes. Not just you, but it's just in general. A lot of speakers do that. So it's a good thing that you were very succinct with your speech.
You're absolutely correct. I know I've seen some speeches that are done and and you start to lose your train of thought in the middle of it. Exactly. Well, I appreciate your time today, and thank you so much.